I really do hope I can get back into playing this game because I really want to enjoy it.
You know, in these past 3 months, I really have grown. For one, I actually played through the game that I'm reviewing. Yep, that's right. After 3 long and hard grueling months of sitting at my desk and moving my fingers around, I finally finished Elden Ring. Because of all your positive comments and to celebrate my channel hitting 1,000 subscribers, I'll be revisiting my old video after having fully beat Elden Ring. Also, it happens to be Elden Ring's birthday today, so add that to the reasons I'm making this video list. So why did I go back to Elden Ring, even after making a video that said I basically couldn't? Well, first of all, I was like 10 hours into the game. I pretty much didn't even give it a chance at all. Also, I just really needed a better computer to play the game, which I eventually got. Previously, I was playing on prehistoric hardware, which gave me the illusion of smooth sailing, because while the actual gameplay was fine, it was the little things that got under my nerves that I attributed to the game, when the real culprit was my computer. They were super tiny things like loading screens being a tad bit too long and the map for some reason taking ages to load. Even Torrent would just sometimes not spawn when I used the whistle. I don't know, maybe he was chilling on a balcony somewhere. So, let's watch my first Elden Ring review and laugh at the game journalist who couldn't even beat Radahn. Right now, here's my setup. I have Opera GX on my auto monitor with tabs open for every single side quest that I need to do. A lot of you pointed out how the way I played Elden Ring in the beginning was completely degenerate. So I just said screw it, and I closed the browser that housed all of the side quests that I was obsessing over. And guess what? I enjoyed the game so much more. I stopped worrying about what quest I was missing or what I had to do next, because I told myself I can just do them in the next run. One point that I do still agree with is the fact that most of the quests are completely hidden. When I stopped using the guide, all of the side quests I was doing were pretty much ended for me, because I just couldn't figure out what to do next without my beloved Fextra life. However, it feels like the strength got majorly nerfed compared to the other entries. Yeah, it's definitely not weaker. Who let me make this video? Maybe in the beginning of the game, it can seem underwhelming, since dexterity builds have, whoa, cool flippy swords, and all strength builds gets are bigger swords. But in late game, whoa, big numbers, cool effects, I can finally roleplay as Nautilus? In general, I feel like they turned up the difficulty bar just a bit, even more than the usual From Software torture. I think I just needed to, get good scrub. Seriously though, I don't know how I forgot From Software's philosophy of, hey, you can't beat this boss? Well, turn around and fight other bosses until you can. Or just keep on throwing yourself at the boss and dying and then complain about it on the internet too, that's fine. Also, Melina was super hyped up with all the articles and let me solo her, and I killed her in like 2 tries. Was I unintentionally cheesing her by using a Mimic Tear and a heavy stagger weapon? Yes, but the fact is, I am bad at video games. And I don't want to go through Orphan of Cause again. This boss took too much of my life away from me. The open world? I could still take it or leave it, honestly. I thought the best parts of the game were when I didn't have Torrent, no matter how much I love him. Sure, I get the whole point of the game is to immerse yourself in it and explore this brand new world. But I mean, okay, side brands. I don't like heavy immersion games where the point is to explore. It's the same reason I didn't really like Hollow Knight. I just kept on getting lost, and instead of a feeling of wonder every time I see a new area, I just felt a sense of dread, knowing that I would spend the next hour looking at every single corner, trying to find a way to progress. So, after all of that, what do I think of the game now? Yeah, I love the game for so many reasons. First of all, the lore, it's fantastic as always. I love it when games don't shove the story in your face and allow you to figure it out yourself through items and the such. Or, like me, watch a 5-hour game analysis of someone else doing it for you. Next, the weapons. I love how strength weapons are no longer just big sword or big club, and now they're big sword or big club with cool abilities. Dark Souls 3 had elements of this in the form of weapon arts, but even those were sort of locked to dexterity weapons. In Elden Ring, any weapon you want can be cool, even a wooden club, which you can modify to eventually be able to slay the gods. Also, every single unique weapon has its own cool effect. My favorite being the Star Scourged greatswords. Now, you may notice that I'm pretty much wearing Radahn's full set, disregarding the furry mask. Can you guess what my favorite boss is? Hey, speaking of bosses, the bosses. Referring back to Melina, while I did destroy her with my cowardly tactics, I tried going back to solo her without my Mimic friend, and yeah, I can definitely see why she's being touted as the hardest boss of all Souls-like games. Apart from her, there are so many memorable and more importantly fair bosses like Radahn or Malika. Honestly, if a boss has a cool weapon or cool moves, they're probably instantly one of my favorites. Or you can just make them hot, that works too. finally, the characters. Elden Ring has some amazing characters. Characters that add so much depth to the world, and characters that breathe so much life to the story of Elden Ring. It also continues From Software's age-old tradition of having every single character you love die, because of various misfortunes. Sometimes the misfortunes being me. Now, it isn't all early flowers and nascent butterflies, alright? This game isn't perfect. First of all, the multiplayer sucks in this game. Granted, it is pretty much like it's been in previous entries, but previous entries didn't have vast open worlds like Elden Ring. What I mean by that is that after every single boss, the game boots your partner out and you have to resummon them. Also, for some reason, they disabled torrent in multiplayer. Sure, it makes sense in PvP, but when I'm with the boys, I can't ride them. I mean torrent, I can't ride torrent. If it could just be a bit more seamless and less of a hassle, it would honestly get me to actually like and appreciate the open world. Second, I need DLC. And I'm not counting the Coliseum update as a DLC, no matter what Steam and Fetcher Life tells me. And no, I'm not just saying that because I suck at PvP. A full-fledged expansion is what I'm talking about, like Artorias of the Abyss for Dark Souls 1, or the Ring City for Dark Souls 3, which has boss fights which I thought were exponentially better than the actual final boss fight of the respective series. This is pretty much a moot point since they're 100% working on it right now, since, well, but I'm looking forward to it regardless. Next we have crafting. Did anyone else forget that this existed in this game? Maybe if I went, say, a pot build or something like that, it would be useful. To all the brave souls who actually went a pot build, I salute you. Seriously though, as a strength gigachad myself, its only use for me was for making the summoning remedies when the bosses got too hard and I needed to get help. Also, what about the Ever goals? Honestly, I feel like the Ever goals could have been used more. I only remember fighting in the Ever goals like once or twice. Maybe they could have put more Ever goals around the map, housing more harder bosses. Finally, we have the fashion. Why can't I wear the armor I want while using the stats of another armor, like vanity slots in Terraria? I have all this cool clothing, but I'll never be able to wear them, because I'll get melted faster than by the demon core. As stupid as it sounds, that's honestly why I love Bloodborne. The armor in that game basically didn't matter stat-wise, and I can wear the Crow Feather set as much as I want. In Elden Ring, the Raptor armor sucks. Even with these half-baked complaints, I'd still love this game. At the end of the day, it's a Souls-like, and I was bound to like it eventually. Even the worst Souls-like, Dark Souls 2, I'd still loved. Hey, by that same logic, who knows? Maybe if I play Sekiro again, I'll start to like it. However, if I say I don't like it, then I'll get a bunch of comments saying how stupid I am for not liking it. So, Sekiro sucks. Anyways, see you guys in a couple of months when I realize that Elden Ring is actually bad, and I released a video critiquing this video. In the meantime, I'm gonna be busy playing the better Elden Ring. The Elden Ring Digital Adventure Guide! Yeah, baby, I'm so glad I pre-ordered this game! Woo!